The PhilSecNet Pandemic Resilience Award hopes to share with the public how to deliver the services of eCenters without compromising the safety of the community and the center managers. This also hopes to inspire others to continue delivering their services despite the pandemic. The award categories include Social Welfare and Rehabilitation, Support for Teachers and Students, Rescue Operation and eGov Services. For the guidelines, the award is open to all types of eCenter initiatives that are operating since September 2019. The eCenter must be an active member of PhilSecNet. Nominated eCenter must be operational during the implementation of Enhanced Community Quarantine or General Community Quarantine until the present. Entries for the awarding will be based on nominations by an individual or an organization with sufficient knowledge to endorse the eCenter. Self-nominations will also be accepted. For submission, interested participants must submit a duly accomplished nomination form. Supporting materials such as pictures, brochures, news clippings, testimonials, and video clips may also be submitted. The nomination should cover accomplishments made within the period of March 2020 until September 2020. Nomination for the award should be sent to secretariat@philsecnet.org with the subject 2020 Pandemic Resilience with the eCenter name indicated. Nomination period is within the month of October. Deadline for the submission of nominees is on October 30. Awarding will be on November 26. All entries will be subjected to pre-qualification by the organizers. All validated entries will be evaluated by a panel of judges to be appointed by PhilSecNet and DICT. The contest will follow these criteria. Socioeconomic impact of the eCenter, 35%. Innovativeness, 30%. Productivity, 20%. Partnership and networking, 15%. Application forms are available upon request. You may email us at secretariat@philsecnet.org.
You are now watching the 15th Knowledge Exchange Conference with the theme eCenters in the Digital Philippines for the New Normal. Today is our fourth webinar entitled Setting the eCenters as Tool for Development, September 10, 2020, streaming live over YouTube. Good morning! Maayong buntag, assalamualaikum, buenos dias, magandang umaga po. Welcome everyone to KEC 15. My name is Angel, your host for today. KEC is a gathering of community eCenter forerunners, centers of excellence, ICT for development enthusiasts, government and industry leaders, of course the academe and everybody involved in making ICT available to community. So this event is aimed at exchanging ideas, sharing best practices, relevant solutions, and success stories. So good morning to our participants. I can see that we're coming from all parts of the Philippines. We have participants from Davao, Cebu, Pangasinan. We have from Iloilo, Cagayan Valley, Bulacan, La Union, Sarangani, Laguna, Quezon City, South Cotabato, and Bohol. Thank you for joining us, and to everyone, to everybody else in the Philippines that are joining us this morning. This webinar was organized by the Philippine Community Center Network Incorporated, or PhilSecNet, in cooperation with the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Of course, with the support of the University of the Philippines Open University, the Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources, Research and Development of the DOST, the local government of Tayabas, Quezon, and local government of San Remio, Cebu, as well as the Asian Institute of Journalism and Communication, with special thanks to our sponsors PLDT and Quezon Power Limited. Please watch these short infomercials.
Mahigit sa 20,000 na ang confirmed
ng PPE
Isa sa ilalim na ang Metro Manila sa
Wala na. Wala munang mga food court at fiesta. Meron namang lutong bahay. Wala munang window shopping. Meron namang free shipping. Wala munang happy hour. Pero may isang oras pa. Tulog pa tayo. Wala muna yung aircon at only coffee sa office. Pero andyan yung dream office mate natin. Biruin mo, wala munang quiz night, band night, samgyup night, pati videoke night. Pero meron ng time sa family night. Wala na munang pasyalan, wala na munang bakasyunan. Okay lang siguro mawala lahat ng yon. Huwag lang ito. Kasi may mga bagay na walang kapalit. May mas mahalaga ba dito? Wala. Rediscover what matters. Rediscover home.
Magandang umaga, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and other parts of the world. To the 200 or more than 200 of you joining us this morning, thank you. Send the link to your colleagues, drop your comments, and let's make this 2-hour session interactive, okay? This year, KEC 15 goes virtual with a series of webinars every Thursday, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. From August 20 to November 26, 2020. That's 3 months worth of knowledge sharing. These webinars are absolutely free. It is PhilSecNet's contribution in the country's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic through enabling, strengthening, and facilitating the digital transformation of communities. To join, all you need is to register just once for the entire conference. If you have not registered yet, please find the link inside the description box below. To participate in the open forum, you will need to post your questions through an open forum form. Please find the link inside the description box below. We currently have over 200, sir, no? So we have over 200 of you joining us this morning, and it will be a challenge for us to read through all of your comments. So please make sure to send your questions through that form so that we'll be able to relay it to our speaker. Certificates will also be made available after providing us your feedback. It includes a short quiz to see how well you understood the topic. So please pay attention. Grab your notebook and your pen and take down some notes. The link to the feedback form will be made available again in the description box below towards the end of the webinar. And of course, just like the previous weeks, we will also draw raffle prizes today. Some of last week's prizes were not claimed, so we are adding them to today's raffle. So today we will be giving away 10 raffle prizes. These are cell cards worth 300 or 500 each. All registered participants since the opening webinar last August 20 and until today will have the chance to win for the entire conference. And of course, if you are a PhilSecNet member, you are qualified to win again in a raffle draw during the General Assembly on September 24, 2020. So make sure that you were able to register for the webinar series so you will have the chance to win either a 300 or a 500 peso worth of loan. Now listen carefully so that your prize won't get forfeited. To claim your prize, you must send an email to the secretariat at philsecnet.org before this webinar ends. Just use the email subject, raffle claim, your complete name, and your network provider. Okay, you can screenshot the screen being flashed at the moment. So be sure to send us an email before we end our webinar today, as if you will not be able to do that, your prize will get forfeited and it will be given away next week at next week's webinar. So again, make sure to be able to email us if you're the winner for this raffle draw today. Send us an email at secretariat@philsecnet.org with the subject raffle claim, your complete name, and the network you used. Once again, you do not need to register for each and every webinar. You just have to register once and you will have access to the entire conference and you will have the chance to be part of our raffle draw. Okay, is that clear? Let me see some comments. If that's clear, can you just type that it's clear or you got it or some emoji? Just so I'm sure we got all things covered. Okay. So for today's webinar, I would like to introduce to you our moderator who will be also introducing our resource person. Our moderator started out as a teacher in high school and college. After shifting his career from the academe to the IT industry, he got the chance to pursue leadership and management in business process outsourcing for 11 years. With dedication and perseverance, he became a civil servant and has been leading the Management Information Systems Division of the OSTP card for 6 years now. Ladies and gentlemen, our moderator, the PhilSecNet Treasurer and Chairperson for the 15th Knowledge Exchange Conference Please welcome Dr. Richard E. Amansek.
Thank you, Angel, for that pleasant introduction. Welcome, everyone. For today's webinar, we now come to leading part 1, particularly setting the eCenters as a tool for development. And by the end of this webinar, participants are expected to set the directions of the eCenter vis-a-vis global standards, direct the CEC as tool for development, formulate and enforce policies within the eCenter, as well as recommend policies that will benefit the eCenter. Without further delay, please allow me to introduce you our resource person. In 1989, she was sent by the provincial government of Camarines Norte to participate in a 1-month intensive training by DILG on electronic data processing because of her background in computer operations. She has various training and seminars related to information and communication technology and has been a regular participant of PhilSecNet's annual Knowledge Exchange Conference. Wow. Her years of continuous exposure to computer colloquia developed her computer literacy, making her a computer enthusiast and tech savvy. She is a graduate of AB Political Science with a short course on computer operations and presently taking up a master in public administration. She used to serve the municipal government of Jose Panganiban, Camarines Norte. Then she served the provincial government of Camarines Norte as computer programmer 2, as information officer 2, soon after became a municipal councilor and also a vice mayor. She is now a community affairs officer for and the chief of the Social Science Development and Services Division. Since 2013, she has been the center manager of the Camarines Norte Community Electronics Center, which is now the Camarines Norte Provincial Capital Tech4ED Center. And with her leadership, the center received a plaque of recognition from DICT in Davao City last November 15, 2018, during the National Tech4ED Awards, an award that recognizes more than a decade of unrelenting passion and service for commendable performance in demonstrating an effective and sustainable utilization of ICT for community growth and development, bringing the benefits of ICT to its constituents. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Jing Ariola Kalimlim. Hello, Ma'am Jing. I think you're still on mute. Go ahead and unmute yourself from the bottom of your screen. Yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah,
Okay.
there
Good
now.
morning, Dr.
Good morning.
Richard Amansek. Thank you for the nice introduction. And good morning to all center managers and all the participants and all who are watching us right now.
Go ahead, Ma'am Jing. I think you've prepared something for our viewers.
Yes, sir. I will be sharing my presentation. My presentation is about setting the eCenter as tool for development. Okay. I will start with my presentation. Am I sharing it now, sir?
We can see your screen. Go ahead.
uh, I'm still adjusting to this StreamYard. So
Yes, please.
how?
Go ahead. We
Oh,
can see your
I was
screen.
good. I was good a while ago while rehearsing. And how will now? How can I go now? I'm seeing my presentation at the extended monitor.
Yep. Go ahead, please.
But where will I click now to go to the next set?
Yeah, you should see it from your primary monitor.
Okay. So I would like to start my presentation by quoting a statement of the ICT Secretary. Oh, so it's not moving. Why is it not moving? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Would you like us to handle the presentation, Munjing?
Please, sir. Please, sir.
All right, let's show that up. Can we go ahead, Munjing?
Okay.
We are now taking control of your presentation. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm seeing.
So yes, we are going to talk about setting the eCenters as tool for development. And ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen,
sir.
I have Ma'am Jing Ariola Kalimlim
Yes,
to
sir.
deliver to us the different learning outcomes. Go ahead, Ma'am Jing.
I will start my presentation by quoting the message of the ICT Secretary Onasan. I'm not seeing my presentation, sir. Okay, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now. Okay, his message during the launching of government network project in Zamboanga City is, we shall abide by the President's marching orders for your department to provide much needed connectivity. Connect governments to governments, domestic and global. Not only government to governments, but government to businesses, government to citizens, and everybody to each other. Next slide, please. And the CEC and the Tech4ED Centers are linkages of the ICT to achieve that goal, to enable, empower, transform everyone, every race, every religion, every municipality, and every human through the 4 E's of Tech4Ed. I know all of you, those who are in the eCenters and Tech4Ed centers, we know what Tech4Ed stands for. It's technology for education, to gain employment, train entrepreneurs towards economic development. Next slide, please. As you can see, there is a semblance between the message of the ICT Secretary on NASAN and the mantra of the ICT. So to connect government to government, government to businesses, government to citizens, everybody to each other. And the mantra of Tech4Ed or the eCenters in the entire nation is to provide equal opportunity for digitization for every race, every municipality, every religion, every human, for everyone. The mark of digitization would be a truly connected and inclusive society. So that is our great goal to achieve. Next, sir. Okay. There are already more than 40,000. Am I right, sir? Ito yung figure natin ngayon. There are already more than 40,000 eCenters or Tech4Ed centers nationwide, mandated to harness ICT. I will repeat it again, to enable, empower, and transform society. But I would like to pose the question, how are we doing right now? How are we doing right now? The newly established centers, kumusta kayo? Are you coping up? Are you struggling? The emerging centers, ano na pong nangyayari? Are you advancing? And how about the outstanding center and those which belong to Hall of Famers? Have we stopped because we are already awarded? Or are we setting our directions vis-a-vis the global standards? Whatever status we are in right now, mahusay, mas mahusay o pinakamahusay, lahat tayo ay patuloy na humaharap sa hamon. Next slide, please. And what are those challenges? These are the challenges. Ito yung hamon na hinaharap natin simula nang magsimula tayo hanggang sa kasalukuyan. Giving the marginalized access to digital opportunities, creating a progressive countryside, empowerment of unserved and underserved communities through our eCenters through the use of ICT. I have watched the stories of the 10 finalists for outstanding and emerging categories, and there are so many inspiring stories of enabling empowerment and transformation. How did we accomplish that? Ang daming kwento, ang gaganda. Alam nyo yon yung mga accomplishments ng mga center natin. There are stories na may iyak ka sa nangyaring transformation sa kanilang mga clients, sa kanilang mga communities. And how did we accomplish that? Are we aware how we did that? How we went through the process? Next, please. Okay, let us check our performance progression. So I believe we are all aware of this performance progression. Performance progression is based on job roles and competency levels. So let us classify the job roles in our respective CEC. Diba sa ating CEC, we have staff who assist the clients, assist the supervisor, assist the manager. And we have the staff who do the application, who train, and then, of course, we have the managers who lead and innovate. But performance progression is not only confined to a certain job role. So, hindi ibig sabihin na ikaw ay nag-a-assist lang, mananatili ka lang doon sa part na yon. Kailangan may progression. Kailangan mangyayari yung ina-apply mo na yung iyong natututunan. You were able to train others. And then, up to the time that you can already lead and innovate. And the managers, performance progression and competency for us managers, hindi lang tayo nandun to lead. Hindi lang tayo nandun to innovate. We will always go back to assisting our staff, assisting our clients. There are times na may mga clients tayo na kailangan tayo ang mag-handle. Kapag hindi na nagkakaintindihan yung staff natin at yung clients natin, kailangan babalik tayo doon. Kailangan lagi din natin i-check yung mga staff natin if we still have to train them, if we still have to coach them, and even our clients. Okay. Next, please. Okay. Are we aware that we have the National Competency Standard for eCenter Knowledge Workers? Naalala ko to nang magkaroon kami ng orientation when CEC was converted as Tech4ED. They gave us this manual. Bisitahin natin siya. Baka yung iba sa atin, hindi pa siya nabasa or nakalimutan na natin. No? So, this manual, okay, teka ho ha, okay, way back 2008 pa to, there is already a guiding map for eCenters to help us navigate the rough road ahead of us. Siguro noong time na yon hindi ito pinansin. Hindi napansin ang manual. Nang tawag ngayon ay NCSKW, the National Competency Standard for Knowledge Workers. Siguro hindi pinansin dahil hindi pa malinaw noon sa atin kung ano ang purpose ng eCenters. There are terminologies, especially in the field of ICT, which are not familiar to us. So mas maganda talagang basahin natin ito at balikan. I would like you to focus on the lower portion of the manual, which says that adoption of this standard would ensure the development of a range of business, administrative, and community support skills, as well as integration of technology effectively in computing and communication skills among remote and or disadvantaged group. So, hindi pala tayo mawawala. All we need to do is to adapt this standard. And as we can see it, standard is very much important. There is a standard set for us that we have to follow. Next slide, please. Okay. So what is standard? No? Parating natin na naririnig. Okay, we have our own standard for our organization. At ngayon sa field of ICT, we always hear the word global standard. Standard is defined as an accepted or approved example or technique against which other things are judged or measured. So pag may standard kasi tayo, 'di ba? Meron tayong titingnan kung paano natin ma-measure, 'di ba? Itong ginawa nating ito vis-a-vis this other thing. It serves as a guideline for how something should be done, no? So tayo sa eCenters, napakaswerte natin. We have this manual. There is a guideline for how something should be done, accepted level, and scope of attainment of proficiency. This is a reference point against which other things are judged or measured. Okay? So, dahil marami pang communities na naghahangad yung digital literacy and development of competencies for them, for their lifelong learning, sabik pa sila, naghahanap pa sila nito. Kaya kailangan meron tayong standard na susundan. At kasama dito sa manual na to, which has this standard, ay pag-uusapan natin yung competency. Always remember that basic standard or these standards established for us is our foundation that can direct our eCenter as tool for development. Pwede tayong lahat na maging competitive centers. And if we can do that competitively, we are helping our country achieve global standard in the field of using ICTs. Okay? So, competencies of managers and staff as knowledge workers are needed to meet basic service standards for underserved communities. So, aralin mo natin ito. As I was preparing this presentation last night, hindi ako nagmalay anong oras na. Kasi habang ginagawa ko siya, napakaganda. Kasi nagre-review ako, tinitingnan ko how I was based on that standard as center manager. Next slide, please. Okay. Do you know that the manual has 33 pages? Ang kapal nito, sir, pala. Sir Richard. So, ngayon, papakita ko lang sila sa inyo ng madalian para masilip lang natin. We will walk through this manual. Palagi ko nakikita nyo naman yung presentation ko. Okay, so kanina binanggit ko yung performance progression. Okay? So, this performance progression, pinakita natin kanina yung job roles. Assisting, applying, training, leading, innovating. So, may competency level. So, may level 1, level 2, level 3. So, level 1, the foundation is basic. Level 2, intermediate na to. So, supervisory, specialist. And level 3 is management, specialist. And there are competency domains. So, kumbaga, yung competency level ng bawat isa, Meron din siyang domain. So, yung digital literacy ay nasa level 1. Siya yung nandun, ang job role niya is assisting. Yung competency domain na design, development, implementation, and monitoring, nandito siya sa level 2 ng isang specialist. Level 2 which is intermediate. And then yung governance, business, and management, nandito siya sa level 3, management specialist. And in achieving that competency in our job, in our role as center managers, there are skill set. Management plus technical plus interpersonal or behavioral. Okay. Ngayon, kung titignan natin ito, tayong mga manager, nandun na ba tayo sa are we leading the center staff? Okay? Ano nang nangyayari sa atin? Itatanong ko uli yun. Next slide, please. Okay. So, define ko lang para mas malinaw. Competency levels defines the level of proficiency a person must demonstrate to fulfill a specific job role. Okay? Next slide, please. Oh. Hindi ko pala, sir, na-delete. Paki-next slide na lang, ho. Okay. Parang iba yata yung na-upload ko, yung edited. Okay. Magkakwento lang ho ako. Paano ako nakarating ng example ng leading and innovating. Pagdating doon sa governance, grabe ho ang hinarap namin sa CEC. When I became the head of our office and I'm supervising the eCenter, that was in 2012, I was confronted with a poorly functioning CEC. Akala namin magsasara na. Kasi there was reluctance sa member ng local finance committee in approving our proposed budget for CEC. Remember, yung mga kapwa ko na center managers na inabot pa yung mga CEC or Community Electronic Center, hindi ba may bayad noon para sa gagamit ng electronic services? So, syempre, nagre-remit kami sa Provincial Treasurer's Office. May local finance committee who checked that. So, nakikita nila na parang wala nang income. Ano nang nangyayari? Dahil dumating na yung time na parang unuseful na ang CEC. Ayun na, nagsulputan na ang mga internet shops. Andyan na lang sila sa tabi. Hanggang dumating na it's getting cheaper than the rate that we are imposing or that we impose in our CEC. So, parang ayaw na nila kaming bigyan ng pondo kasi idle na yung CEC, wala nang nangyayari. Pero hindi kami huminto. Sabi namin hindi pwedeng ang matagal nating sinimulan, I think 2005 nang mag-start, pwedeng mawawala na lang ng ganon. Nakita namin ang epekto niya sa mga previous clients namin. So we pushed for it, we lobbied. Talagang kami ay pinakita namin ang importance ng CEC, and we told them that it's not an income generating project. The purpose of the CEC is to serve those who do not have access to digital or electronic services. And dito pumapasok yung governance, no? So we recommended to amend the rate or the fees at the center through the amendment of the provincial tax code. So ayun na, kikilosan dyan yung governance. Makikipag-usap ka na sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan to make the necessary amendment. And I would like to tell also that before we started our operation, there is a CEC manual that was devised, and it passed through the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. So napakahalaga nun sa center managers in level 3 who lead and innovate And our competency domains is governance, business, and management. Napakahalaga nito mga formulations of ordinances, legislative actions para ma-secure ang establishment, ang ang continuity and sustainability of the center. Naulit pa ito. In 2016, alam nyo yon yung CEC, may nag-recommend na gawin na lang natin yan na NBI satellite office. Kasi there was a move to establish a satellite office in Camarines Norte para hindi na kami pupunta ng Camarines Sur. So, merong nag-recommenda, gawin na lang natin na yan na ang satellite office. But again, we lobbied, we talked to the right persons, at ang nakakatuwa dito talaga, siguro one factor in governance, kailangan na pakita natin sa ating local chief executives ang value of the services of the center para laging nakasupport. Kaya ang aming LC is always supportive of our actions, and our recommendations are always approved. Okay. In said two instances, nakita natin that formulation and enforcement of policies, legislations are important to safeguard and benefit the eCenters and its client. Okay, next please. So yun, nagtuloy-tuloy yung operation. So makita ninyo doon yung role ko as center manager, yung pagli-lead nandun yung paglalabi, at pumasok dapat yung innovation. Hindi pwede na mag-stop ka doon na inapprove ng governor or ng LCE yung inyong mga recommendations, hindi kayo sinara, binigyan uli kayo ng pondo, pero there should be life. Kailangang ibalik yung buhay doon sa center. Hindi parang idle lang siya. Nakakalungkot pagpapasok ka ng center nang walang tao, nang walang nangyayari. So, doon pumasok yung nag-innovate kami. Inisip namin, siguro ang pagkakaiba namin sa ibang eCenters, provincial kasi kami. So, hindi kami situated in every municipality. Kasi pag ang eCenter nasa municipality, meron ka na agad direct community to serve. Pero ang provincial, hindi naman pupunta sa amin ang mga malalayong bayan. So, mostly, ang clients din namin ay from the capital town, in the municipality where the center is situated. So, sabi namin, kung hihintayan natin sila, baka hindi sila dumating. Baka nga wala nang pumunta sa center. So, tiningnan muna namin ano yung mga programa ng opisina namin na pwedeng makinabang dito sa eCenter. Okay, so eto na. So, we make use of the competencies of our staff. We are lucky we have a very good computer programmer. We are lucky also we have a job order employee but who has also the expertise. So, kumbaga, as center manager, I am directing them and I am challenging them, kaya nyo ba itong gawin? Kaya ba nating i-computerize itong ganito? So, we have thousands of scholars in the provincial government. And every year, nagpapa-exam kami. Pasukan na, hindi pa tapos mag-check ng test paper. So, I told them, gamitin natin ang center, gamitin natin ang facilities ng center for the examination, on-site examination, and mobile examination. And we came up with the CAAT, the Computerized Application and Admission Test. So, yung program na yan, nagustuhan niya ng SPES. This is the special program for the employment of the students, no? So, sabi nila, pwede ba namin gamitin yan? So, yun na, naka-network na kami sa ibang opisina, nakatulong na kami yung peso. And then, meron pa kaming isang educational assistance program. Annually, nagbibigay ng financial assistance of 2,000 pesos to grade 7 students. Parang as an inspiration for them to step up to secondary school. Para hindi yung parang wala akong uniform, wala akong ganito. So, from 6,000 ngayon, 10,000 na ang beneficiaries yan. So, alam nyo yon yung mag-encode sila sa payroll ng pagkarami-raming pangalan that there might be duplication. So, we use the eCenter for the profiling, computerized profiling of the participants or the beneficiaries, and then computerize sa yung payroll. So, maiiwasan yung duplication in the entry of name. Dahil nababalita na, kasi ang client mo, estudyante, mga kabataan, maingay sila, sinasabi nila tong ganito, meron kaming ganito, dun sa eCenter meron ganito. Until pinupuntahan na kami ng mga secondary school, the senior high school, for the training and work immersion of their senior high school students. So those are the things that we did to innovate. And innovating is competency. Okay. We as a team did our best to gradually resurrect the CEC. Okay, next please. Okay, so balikan uli natin para alam mo yung pag nare-review di ba? Para lalong gumaling yung mga outstanding centers at yun namang mga emerging centers, ito yung dapat nating skill set. So, yung management competency, napakahalaga. It covers leadership. Nandun ka, ikaw ang mag-lead. You provide the direction. You provide the control to bring about the outcomes expected by the organizational strategy. And then, the technical competency should be present in our CEC. It covers function-specific knowledge and skills to execute with effectiveness the technical process demanded by results, delivery, and support. And of course, ito hindi pwedeng mawala. Hindi pwedeng functional competency lang. There should be behavioral competency, and that is the interpersonal skill. This is a cluster of personal and interpersonal skills needed in dealing with customers, its stakeholders, and other personnel and beneficiaries of the program. Next, please. Okay. So, yun na po, no? So, may performance indicators for each skill set. Management skill, technical skills, interpersonal skills. Ano ho? So, tingnan natin ho. Ito, papasilip ko lang sa inyo. Next slide, please. Kung makikita ninyo yung manual or the NCS for knowledge worker, the National Competency Standard for knowledge workers, meron ng mga ganyang page. So makikita ninyo yung skill set sa taas, management. Meron isang sub-area, kung ano yung sub-area niya. And for each skill set and each sub-area, there is performance indicators for each competency level. So hindi tayo mawawala, no? So pagdating sa skill set na management, ano ba yung kailangan kong performance indicator? Kung ako ay nasa competency level 1 pa lang, or nasa competency level 2 na, or nasa competency level 3. And makikita pa yung mga underpinning knowledge. Ano ba yung mga kailangan pang mga i-enhance ko, mga alamin na bagay-bagay para lalo pang lumakas ang aking competency or tumaas ang level ng aking competency. Next, please. Okay, so yung manual, divided din siya sa dalawang set. Ang competencies ay divided into 2 sets for the advanced CECs and for entry states in underserved communities. And sabi ko nga sa inyo, maraming pages, pero sinamarize ko siya. So kung titingnan ninyo siya, pagdating sa skill set na technical, papasok yung sub-area ng ICT infra. Pagdating doon sa skill set na management, papasok ang sub-area na napakarami. The planning, the leading, the administration and business operations, the networking and partnership, the change management, and the customer orientation and service culture. And for the personal skill or behavioral skill, the interpersonal skills. Nakikita nyo lang yan ng ganyan, pero pag tinignan niyo ang manual, bawat sub-area na yan, there are performance indicators and there are suggestions, recommendations for underpinning knowledge. Okay. Next, please. Ayan ho. Bukod pa doon, may manager competency map. So, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na planning, leading, administration, etc. Nakikita nyo yung bawat column na yon. Ayun na, makikita na natin yung how competent we are. Para siyang checklist, guideline na makikita natin yung ating competency map. Next, please. So, we have the manager competency map. We have the supervisor competency map. Next, please. And then, we have the staff competency map. So, lahat tayo sa CEC. Hindi pwedeng si boss lang ang competent, hindi pwedeng si supervisor lang, at hindi pwedeng iwan ang ating mga knowledge workers or ang mga nag-a-assist sa atin. Next, please. Okay. Setting the eCenters as tool for development, very important talaga yung competency natin. So, there are two types of competencies, behavioral and functional. Hindi natin siya pwedeng paghiwalayin. Sabi nga, a combination of both is almost always required to be effective. So, hindi pwedeng nakafocus lang tayo sa technical aspects ng operations ng ating center. So, bibilhin natin lahat ng magagandang computers, equip natin lahat ng accessories na kailangan, pagkaganda-ganda ng ating centers, meron tayong mga necessary software, licensed software, functional yon. Tapos in terms of skills sa mga natutunan natin, andun siya, nagagamit natin yung mga technical skills or competencies natin doon. So, ito yung mga functional skills na ginagamit natin to perform some technical tasks like operating machinery, etc. Pero yung behavioral, hindi dapat mawawala yon. Ito yung tinatawag na soft skills. This is not like functional that define the ability to do something. This is more on how it is to be done. It is often described as a way of doing things in relation to other people. So, kailangan tingnan natin yung e-center natin na hindi lang siya technical. The most important aspect of the center is the people, the individuals we serve, the marginalized communities who are wanting electronic and digital services. So, kailangan yung ating behavioral competencies dito, yung ating interpersonal skills in handling them, in handling our organization and the people in our organization. So now, marami tayong nakita at narinig sa akin. Siguro nag-iisip tayo, what is the present competency levels of our eCenter? Siguro nag-iisip na kayo, how competent are the staff I am having right now? How competent is the supervisor, the center manager, based on the things that I have stated as I have shared based on the NCSKW manual provided to us by DICT. Next, please. Okay. So, puntahan natin yung stages of ICT development. Emerging, applying, infusing, transforming. So, di ba meron tayong mga tinatawag na emerging centers. Okay. So, yung ICT development, ganito rin siya nag-emerge. Parang naka-follow dito yung center natin. So, next please. Okay. So, dun sa emerging, nandun tayo sa becoming aware of ICT. Initial phase lang ito. Ang learners or workers just start to explore the possibilities and consequences of using ICT. So, meron pa ba sa atin na nandun sa ganitong stage? Remember, the learning outcome of this presentation is we are setting the direction of the CEC vis-a-vis the global standard, and we want to direct the CEC as tool for development. So we have to assess our centers. So the second stage of ICT usage is the applying. Okay. For the application, natututo na daw tayo ditong gamitin yung ICT. Okay? in servicing our clients. The learners are also learning to use how to use ICT. Nadidiscover na natin yung there is a new understanding of the contribution of ICT to learning. Diba? Learning has developed. Na-exemplify na natin yung applying approach. In this secondary phase, learners use ICT for tasks. So, nandun na yung enhancement, di ba? So, yung punta tayo sa third stage, infusing. O tayo, sino yung mga nandito na? Understanding how and when to use ICT. Nandun na ba tayo sa infusing stage na kapag merong isang sitwasyon, nakikita ba natin pwedeng magamit ang center sa problemang yan? So halimbawa, karamihan ng eCenters are operated by LGUs. 'Di ba? Pag nagpa-planning tayo, we are drafting the executive legislative agenda. Nakikita natin or naririnig natin yung mga pinaplano ng ating mga local chief executives, and then the department heads. So, dapat nakikita na natin, pwede pong magamit dyan ng ICT. Makakatulong ko kami dyan. And pwede ko pong sabihin, I can humbly say na dito sa amin, parang parati na kaming gano'n. Na-offer namin yung aming CEC at kadalasan ay tinatap na kami, especially when ICT can be used. So in infusing, it involves integrating or embedding ICT tasks or undertaking. In the infusing approach to ICT, all aspects of their professional lives in such ways as learning and the management of learning process. So kumbaga, na siya na-infuse na natin, hindi lang doon sa gawain natin, kundi sa buhay natin, nandun na siya. And then the last stage, transforming. So, ito gusto ko bigyan ng focus kasi 'di ba, yung natin, yung goal is enable, empower, transform, do? So, specializing in the use of ICT. Dapat ito na yung nakikita natin, no? Sa transforming stage, nagagamit na natin yung ICT para mag-isip uli, i-renew, alam mo yon. Teka, parang mas maganda kung itong ginagawa namin ito pwede bang i-improve, no? Nagiging mas creative tayo at nakikita natin yon pag-apply natin ng transforming approach. ICT becomes an integral, though invisible part of daily personal productivity and professional practices. Okay, next please.
Sa walang tigil na pagbabago at pag-unlad ng teknolohiya.
Nararamdaman ko yung malaking tulong nito kasi especially while you assist the client at nakita mo na hindi siya marunong kahit ng basic computer operations at in-assist mo siya, malaking bagay yon. And then kapag nagbukas na sila ng Tech4ED and they go into the different segments, alam mo yon, yung parang I found it. Parang yung hinahanap nila na, ito yung gusto kong matutunan. It's here. I'm learning it now. Malaking bagay. Okay, yun yung, the slide I presented ay, gusto ko pang bigyan din yung, I found it, di ba? Parang ganun yung nakita namin kasi doon sa mga clients namin. Matagal ko na ho itong hinahanap. There is discovery, no? So, though nandun sila sa awareness, pero kailangan makarating, hindi yun doon maputol, kailangan makarating yun doon sa transforming stage. Okay. So, speaking of states of transforming pa rin, so kapag nandun na kasi tayo sa transformation stage, dapat ang eCenters ay makikita natin na yung competence, makikita na natin yung dynamism, makikita na natin yung commitment. Next, please. Okay. Mahirap yung kung susundan natin yung function ng ICT. Sabi, ICT is a powerful enabler of development goals. Enabler. Nandun din uli yan. Balikan natin sa goal ng ECT. Enable, empower, enable, transform our society. So, As enabler of development goals, it improves communication and the exchange of knowledge and information necessary for development process. So, tayo, ang eCenter is an accelerator, a driver, a multiplier. So, next slide please, para mas makita natin.
The ALS volunteer teachers were also registered and oriented to the ALS segment.
Isa akong ALS volunteer teacher sa aming barangay at malaking tulong ang Tech4ED sa tulad ko na walang formal schooling sa pagtuturo. Sa Tech4ED, ako ay natuto para maging epektibo sa pagtuturo sa mga estudyante ko. Isa din akong mag-asasaka kaya ang Tech4Agri ay naging daan para sa aking NC3 on agricultural crop production. Muli po ako ay nagpapasalamat sa Tech4ED.
Yes, please keep it on that slide. Si Rubilin, CEC yung naging accelerator niya. Naging multiplier din ang CEC. Ang kwento ni Rubilin, nung na-expose siya dito sa ating eCenter, in the training and in the Tech4ED segments or platform, pumunta siya doon sa ALS segment. So yung mga natutunan niya doon sa ALS segment, nagamit niya sa pagko-coach ng kanya mga ALS learner. They joined a provincial competition at nanalo doon siya kumuha ng mga knowledge and information. At yung kanyang mga learners ay nanalo sa contest, sa slogan writing contest and sa anagram. And then, si Rubilin is a farmer. So pag-explore niya nung Tech4ED segments, nakita niya rin yung e-agri. At natuto siya doon hanggang kumuha siya ng NC3 and she passed the NC3 in agricultural crop production. Sumali rin siya sa contest, regional competition, at nag-first place din siya sa tarpaulin making contest. So, our center has become an accelerator, an enabler, ICT as enabler of the exchange of knowledge and information, and then the CEC as the accelerator, and as a multiplier, yung anak niya who is taking up agriculture also, na-convince din niya. So, nag-multiply na, di ba? Nag-multiply na, pumasok din doon sa segment para mag-review, para rin sa pagkuha niya ng NC3. And then, yung iba pang ALS learners, nagkaroon sila ng confidence and they took entrance examination for our scholarship program. And at present, we have ALS learner who passed the ANE equivalency test na ngayon scholar namin. So ayun nagmumultiply na. So nakikita natin yung transforming stage. Next please. Next slide please. Malapit na ho. Malapit na tayong matapos. Okay? So sabi rin, ICT is pervasive and cross-cutting. Impacts the full range of human activity. Nakikita natin ito, lalo ngayon nakikita natin that ICT is truly pervasive and cross-cutting. Ngayon, sa panahon ng pandemya, di ba, kitang-kita natin yung mga nawalan ng trabaho, yung mga nawawala ng hindi makadirektang pumunta sa mga services that they have to acquire, etc. Nandun yung ICT. Ramdam na ramdam natin sa ating mga activities as a human. Ngayon, speaking of eCenter, with regards to ICT which impact the full range of human activity, the eCenter is an innovator, an indispensable tool. So let's hear this story.
Nung naghahanap ako na mag-encode ng aking sa food and drug, yung sa e-postal, na kahit saan ako pumunta, hindi nila alam kung paano gagawin yun. Na kailangan kong i-renew. Dahil kung hindi ko ma-renew, ito ay magkakaroon ng lapse at magkakaroon ng penalty at magbabayad pa ako. Nang makita ko itong Tech4ED Center, humingi ako ng tulong. Pag-open ko ng sa food and drugs, sa ngayon po ay approve na ang aking food and drugs.
Okay. So, di ba, naging indispensable tool yung kung saan-saan daw pumunta si Lola para matulungan siya doon sa pagpa-approve ng FDA. Ang kwento niya sa amin, hindi nila ako naiintindihan kung ano yung gusto kong sabihin sa mga computer shops. At doon niya natagpuan sa eCenter. At ngayon, approve na yung kanyang sa FDA at continuous yung kanyang business. So ito yung mga sinasabi pa natin kanina na transforming stage of ICT, and this is one of the goal of the center, to transform our community. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so balikan natin yung skill set, management plus technical plus interpersonal. So himayin pa natin siya para mas maging malinaw. So yung skill set na yon ay synonymous to functional competencies plus behavior competencies. So ito na siya, competency, dynamism, and committed. So tignan natin siya dito, yung ating mga eCenters. Kailangan tayong maging competent, kailangan tayong maging dynamic, and committed for us to attain our goal. Next, please. Okay. So, dynamism. Let's discuss about dynamism. O siguro nagtataka kayo, bakit may picture dyan ni Batman and Robin? So, let's define first dynamism. Sabi daw, ang dynamism is there is great energy. There is drive. There is force or power. There is active strength of body or mind. Diba? May sasabi dito yung pichas. Ang alam ko to yung parang hinahagis ba yun ni Batman, no? So, parang kung babalikan ko yung center namin, pupunta ako sa center, parang nalulungkot ako noon kasi wala akong nararamdamang energy. There is no life. So, kaya pumasok yung dynamism nung nag-innovate kami. So, nakakatuwa pag nakikita mo ang center ay dumadami ang tao, na-utilize yung mga equipments, nakakatuwa kasi nagpapalit ka na ng equipment kasi ibig sabihin nagagamit, nagdadagdag ka ng equipment, nagdadagdag ka ng laptop kasi tumarami ang clients, and that is dynamism. So why Robin and Batman? Robin and Batman were known as dynamic duo. Sabi, di ba? Parang itong duo na to, wala silang problema na hindi nare-resolve. Pero si Batman yung may hawak ng pizzas, di ba? Sidekick niya si Robin. Pero hindi sila katulad ng ibang superheroes. Mga ibang superheroes may superpowers. Okay, sino ba yung mga heroes na yan? O si Spider-Man, di ba? May lumalabas siya na sapot, di ba? So, gano'n, may superpower siya. Sino pa ba? Hindi na ako masyadong mga particular sa superheroes. Pero ito si Batman and Robin, wala silang superpowers. Ano lang ang ginagamit nila? They make use of their intellect, their detective skills, the technology, kung ano man yung technology nila noon, their physical strength, and their willpower to fight the crime. No? So, kung titingnan natin yon doon sa mga sinabi ko kanina, may management skills sila na ina-apply. Meron silang technical skills na ina-apply. May behavioral skills na ina-apply. Yung the tremendous will para hulihin, hanapin yung mga hindi gumagawa ng mabuti, yung mga krimen, gumagawa ng mga krimen. So, kitang-kita natin kay Batman and Robin yung ganon, yung dynamism. So, hindi kailangan tayo maging superhero, center managers, knowledge staff, no? Kailangan lang na-inspire natin ang bawat isa. If I inspire my staff to do these things, na-inspire naman ako sa kanila kasi nakikita ko yung kanilang dedication, nakikita ko rin yung kanilang willingness na ibigay din yung kanilang dynamism. Para bang ako lang yung magsasabi na ano kaya gawin natin ganito? Nakikita ko pwede ganito. Mamaya nandiyan na si Wilson, nandiyan na si Glenn. Eto na, ma'am, that is possible. We can do that. At nangyayari. And by that, our center is being dynamic. Next, please.
Napaka-interesting ng topic natin, and the dynamism is really very important in any center operations, I believe so.
Yes, sir.
But I think you have prepared another set of slides that you wanted to show our audience also, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Uh,
Okay,
what
so
do you say? Let's pause for a 5-minute break, set that up so that we can show that to our viewers.
yes, sir. Okay, that's good.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause for a 5-minute break, and we'll get back to you soon. And we're back. Thank you for staying with us. So we again have Ma'am Jing Ariola Kalimlim for today's webinar. Ma'am, thank you for joining us again.
Yes. Okay,
So,
we left the story about Batman and Robin on dynamism. Okay, so another thing which I will show is this also pertains to dynamism, competency, and commitment, especially during this pandemic. Okay, sir. Where is... Eto na naman ako, sir. Hindi ko na naman siya nakiklik. Palagay ko, sir, kayo na uli. May copy kayo, di ba? I've sent this.
Can you try to control it from the extended monitor? Yan. Sa lower left side,
Okay.
meron kayong
Okay na,
left
okay na. Yun na,
button
sir.
bar.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
Alright.
so, akala namin yung center, nang magkaroon tayo ng pandemic. Kasi syempre, wala nang client. Hindi tayo pwede magpapasok. We are imposing physical distancing and everything. But then, nakita namin yung, kanina nga, di ba, nabanggit ko about infusing stage. Kapag meron bang pinag-uusapan, na-infuse na ba natin yung ICT? Pag may mga problema, pag may mga plano, na dapat gawin, may mga problemang dapat tukuyin. So, kami, naging very useful ang CEC, ang center at ang knowledge worker during this time of pandemic. Okay, so, dahil nga na-identify na ang center as the ICT arm of the provincial government, I was tapped to head the crisis communication cluster. So, ayun yon. So, hindi ko, sir, masyadong na-enjoy yung alam mo yon, yung nasa bahay lang during the ECQ. Kasi, as leader of the crisis communication cluster, ayun ho, kailangan natin pumunta dito. And then, ito yung aming crisis communication cluster during one of our meetings. And then, doon yung nakita yung opportunity na one of our programmers, hindi naman siya talaga graduate ng computer programming, but he has the skills and the knowledge. So, through brainstorming, pwede tayong gumawa ng ganito, ganyan. So, yun na, nag-start na kami ng brainstorming namin anong magiging laman and design ng Cam Norte COVID tracker. So, we went through a series of discussion, presentation to the provincial response cluster, to the incident management team, the counterpart of IATF here in our province, and then until it was presented to the local chief executives. And finally, we have come up with this Camarines Norte COVID tracker. So it was launched on April 21 at dito, merong dashboard, nakikita namin kung ilan na yung aming mga PUMs pa nga nakalagay dito. Kasi picture na lang ho ito, screenshot ko lang. Of course, we complied with the data privacy notice. So, nagagamit na namin yung mga ganun. Dapat ilagay natin ito. And there is self-assessment tool. Meron dito na portion na kung gusto mong malaman kung ano yung lagay mo, kung meron ka na bang mga symptoms, ito ho yung isang nagawa namin. And of course, at the center, we did the orientation for the encoders of Cam Norte COVID tracker. So, we partnered with the LGUs para magpadala sila ng mga encoders sila na mga galing din sa centers at sila yung in-orient namin as encoder of the Cam Norte COVID tracker. And then, naging isa pang problema namin, paano yung aming scholarship program? Annually, we go mobile. We do the mobile examination for the remote municipalities, especially to remote barangays. Kasi merong mga bayan na para makarating dito sa Kapitolyo, magbibayad sila ng 2 oras, 3 oras, gagastos ang mas malaki. Kaya kami ang pumupunta. So sabi namin, hindi na yun pwede. So during that time, naging proactive kami. February pa lang, halos hindi pa siya masyadong mainit, the COVID-19, ayun na ho, nakapag-design ng aming mga computer programmers ng PGCEAP online registration. So, ayan sir, sa pareho lang ang dami sir. Dati nagpapa-exam kami ng almost 2,700 mobile and on-site. This time, we had that number again through online registration. Naging safety para sa amin at naging safety rin para sa kanila. And after the PGCEP online registration, electronic na ho lahat ng process namin. And yung grade 7, yung sabi namin financial assistance, tinuloy din namin yan. At yung itong data banking, doon namin talaga ito ginagawa sa eCenters. Hanggang ngayon, meron kasi mga pahabol. Kaya busy pa rin ang centers namin dyan. Okay? ito before the ECQ, nagkaroon kami ng orientation dun sa, meron no kasi dito sa aming bayan na wala siyang eCenter. So sabi namin kung wala kayong eCenter, kukunin namin kayo, dadalhin namin kayo rito. So pinasundo namin sila, dinala namin sila rito, dapat may series pa yon. Pero that was before ECQ, sana matuloy pa rin namin. Okay, so the center was open for free online enrollment during this pandemic. At yung yun po, ang office namin or ang CEC staff ang nag-a-assist sa aming provincial governor sa kanyang mga regularly video conferencing. And this is another task. Ng center namin po ngayon ay nagiging venue for video conferencing. So, regular na namin doon ang Provincial Fisheries and Agricultural Council for the video conference. And dahil nakita namin yan, for the budget next year, nagsubmit na ho kami ng mga budget proposal namin para sa mga applications na kailangan namin para center na rin ang mag-handle ng nung mga ganon. Katulad ditong ginagawa natin, sir. So, of course, related accomplishment is we assisted the DICT para sa free Wi-Fi para sa COVID-19 provincial operations dito sa provincial government. And we will also tap as one of the tanod of the faster of DOST. So this is a monitoring platform on COVID-19 by the DOST. So go back na ako, sir, doon sa original slide ko. Okay. Parang mag-e-end na. Papunta na ako sa ating ending. Asan na ako, sir? Eto na naman, sir. Are you still hearing me, sir? Hello?
Yeah, we can still hear you, ma'am. Carry on.
Carry on. I will be carrying on.
Doon nyo ulit siya, ma'am, i-progress sa extended monitor. Yeah, I can see your mouse on the extended monitor, so you can go ahead and move forward.
Ano yan?
So to our viewers, you can see that the discussion is very rich, and this technical session is pertaining to a very important matter on eCenter operations. As mentioned earlier, this is about the setting the directions of eCenter vis-a-vis global standards, direct the CEC as tool for development, formulate and enforce policies within the eCenter, as well as recommend policies that will benefit the eCenter. Once again, the topic for today is setting the eCenters as tool for development. So probably you're already picking up a thing or two on how these are done and probably be applied to your own eCenters. Please feel free to put a comment on the live chat and react to the discussion.
Ay, sir, I'm not seeing it on my extended screen. Bakit kaya? Hindi, sir, kasi nakashare siya sa inyo. Diba? Itutuloy ko lang siya.
Opo, carry on.
So, okay na, sir?
Yep.
Okay, so, kanina po, binanggit ko yung competency, dynamism, and commitment. Commitment is one of the, behavioral competency. Lahat ng yan, hindi tayo makakapag-transform if we do not have commitment. I believe that transformation comes if we have given our full commitment. So, ano ba yung level of commitment? So, first level is the non-committal. Parang ayaw mo mag-commit. I will not do it. Kapag kung ikaw ay knowledge worker or ikaw ay staff sa eCenter, parang hesitant ka lagi. At kung ayaw mo yung ginagawa mo at ayaw mong gawin, mang-i-impluwensya ka pa. I will influence others. So, wala kang wala ka dapat poder kapag wala ka doon dapat sa CEC pag ganyan ang attitude or in any organization. If you are non-committal and you will condemn, wala kang lugar para sa anumang organization. And then the second stage is the complaining. Why should I do it? If nobody says so, bakit ko naman gagawin? 'Di ba? So, kailangan mawala yan sa ating attitude na yan. So, katulad nung naranasan namin nung pandemic, of course, there are restrictions. Bakit ako lalabas? Bakit kailangan pumunta ng Kapitolyo? Bakit kailangan ng aming knowledge worker pumunta ng Kapitolyo? May pagpigil sa kanilang family. Bakit nyo kailangan gawin yan? Diba? Or mas masama kung ikaw ang magko-complain. Bakit ako member ninyo ng communication crisis cluster? Bakit kailangan kami mag-isip niya ngayong problemang yan para sa COVID tracker? So, or nasa stage lang tayo na compliant lang. Sige na nga, para matapos na lang lahat ito. Sige na, gagawin ko na lang. Kung ano lang yung sasabihin ninyo, yun lang gagawin ko. But commitment is, I will do it. I will lead others to do it. Yan ang commitment. No? So, ito yung kailangan ng bawat isa sa atin. So, when there is commitment, it's not only I will do it, gusto ko siyang dugsungan ng what other things I can do. Magiging ka ng proactive, you plan ahead. So, kahapon kinikwento ko nga kay Sir Richard, nakikita namin na the eCenter will evolve as an ICT office of the provincial government. At dahil nakikita na namin yon, during the last year, upon the start of the new term, alam natin yan sa mga nasa gobyerno, gumagawa tayo ng executive and legislative agenda. So, pinopost ko na ito in that executive and legislative agenda para ma-strengthen ang electronic governance sa aming lalawigan. Para kung hindi man ito matuloy ngayon, ipapasok ko ulit sa AIP. Dapat ganon tayo mga center managers, paulit-ulit, hindi sumusuko. Ilang taon akong naglalabi for creation of permanent staff for my knowledge workers at the CEC. So, last year, ayun na-approve yung 2 plantilla position natin. So, kailangan natin yon, yung commitment na hindi tumitigil. Maybe, probably, it is a gift to me. It was a gift to me na naging municipal official, as a councilor, as vice mayor. Kasi pagdating dun sa governance, malaking bagay na nai-apply ko ito sa pagiging center manager and head of office ng aming division. Okay. So, next slide, please. Okay, so, sabi, there's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you do it only when it's convenient. When you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. Only results. Yun lang, di ba? So, yan ang mga pinag-usapan natin. I would like to go back to dynamism pala kasi parang kasama ito dun sa 10 questions ko, kaya gusto kong balikan, di ba? So, yung dynamism, marami tayong nakikita na mga tao sa araw-araw nakita natin yung dynamism. An example is a rescue worker who rushes in to help others during disaster. Imbis na magtago during disaster, lalabas siya para mag-rescue. A teacher who refuses to give up on a student until they grasp a new concept. So may mga teacher na nagagalit pag hindi natututo ng estudyante. Pero ang dynamic teacher, hindi siya gi-give up hanggang hindi mo natututunan yung dapat mong matutunan. Isang empleyado na he can or she can get or do twice as much as work done in a day. Yan yung mga dynamic persons. So, kung isa kang entrepreneur na meron kang strong desire para umunlad ang iyong negosyo to make something big happen, pero wala kang ginagawa, there is no life in it. There is no dynamism. You are just waiting what will happen. So, going back to commitment, napakaraming meaning, di ba, ng commitment. And I believe, next slide please. Oh, no sir, may nawala pala ako yung slide. Okay, keep it there sir, hindi ko pala na-post. And I believe, kapag nandun na tayo sa transforming stage, diba? Nandun na yung empowerment, nandun na yung enabling, everything is present. Enabling, empowerment, transforming, grabe na ang commitment na nandun. And I believe when there is commitment, there is one great force working behind us. Hindi yan lahat nangyayari kung wala yung gabay ng Panginoon. Huwag natin naalisin yan. Kasama yan sa ating behavioral competency. We should always have faith in what we do. We should always pray and live what we do so that it will be blessings for many persons. So itong ginagawa natin, I believe, ginagabayan tayo ng Diyos. Kasi ang target natin ay yung mga taon dapat nating ma-reach at matulugan. So, my colleagues in the eCenters and all the participants, I hope naging maganda ho itong ating talakayan. Mamaya pa palang ating talakayan during the open forum. I hope meron kayo hong nakuhang na-inspire kayo sa stories namin sa center at meron ho tayong napulot ng mga knowledge and information na ating po na-share ngayong umaga. So for the last slide, please. This is our final message.
Ganapin upang maraming buhay pagpalain.
Applause, ma'am, sa maganda ninyong presentation. Ang ganda. Meron tayong ginamitan ng multimedia pa, ha? Galing.
Kasi sir, challenge mo ako eh. Saka dito sa field office, sabi nila, outstanding center kayo, hindi pwedeng wala kang sasabihin.
you really stood up to your reputation, ma'am. Galing, galing. Ang ganda ng topics na na-cover ninyo, no? Yung pinaka-favorite ko doon, yung commitment, yung hierarchy of commitment. For me, commitment is a big word. Big word siya. And to become committed sa isang bagay, sabi nyo nga, we have to be proactive. And the attitude of saying, I will do it and lead others to do it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If we have that kind of attitude, ang ganda-ganda talaga ng mga kalalabasan ng mga initiatives natin, mga government projects natin. And then,
sir, yung mga centers na, alam mo, baka may nakakaranas din pa rin ngayon ng gano'n, na isasara na yung center, kayo mag-give up, ipaglaban ninyo.
Oo, diba, totoo yan. Tama yan, ma'am. Tama yan. That's the attitude. And also becoming a dynamic person. You mentioned that becoming a dynamic person is not giving up. Keep on trying another approach to achieve the goal. So kung magsasara na nga si center, maganda nga talaga, mahanapan niya ng ibang paraan. Well, no surrender, kumbaga, no?
Yes, sir.
Ganda, ganda. Ma'am, let's now proceed to the open forum. I'm sure our viewers have questions of their own, and you also can see the questions on screen.
Yes.
So let's start with our first question. What are the advices that you can give for the eCenter managers that are still emerging and in order to increase their level of competency? Kasi sa kwento nyo kanina, yung levels 1, 2, and 3, parang nasa 3 na kayo eh. So how can they progress?
Una sir, syempre sabi ko nga, doon sa nagtanong, basahin po uli natin yung manual. Let's always go back to the standard. Doon tayo lagi magsisimula because that manual provided the standards and the guidelines for our competencies. So, Step by step, makikita natin doon. So kung nasa level pa rin, level 1 tayo, makikita natin yung performance indicators. So, ang dapat po parate is we reassess. We reassess our capability, our abilities. We reassess the center. So, hindi pwedeng pag naka-step forward na tayo, ay walang step backward. Para sa akin kasi, for the organization to be dynamic, to be proactive, nag-i-step backward ka to reassess. So, tignan mo yung naging best practices. Baka may dati tayong best practices na nakalimutan natin dahil sa pagpasok nitong bagong ginagawa natin. So, lagi nating titingnan. And in increasing the level of competency, kailangan hindi lang confined ang development sa sarili. Hindi lang ang boss ang nag-i-inspire. Kailangan pati yung ating mga staff and knowledge worker, kailangan ma-lead natin sila to inspire each other. Kasi pag inspirado tayo sa bawat isa, inspirado tayo pare-pareho sa gagawin natin. And without us knowing it, without us being aware, ginagawa na pala natin yung mga performance indicators for the competency. Yun, sir.
Yeah, that's very true.
Pagsamahin, sir, yung behavioral and functional. Hindi po pwedeng functional lang. So, kung may magaling kayo dyan ng mga knowledge worker na focus lang functional, tingnan nyo po yung behavioral niyan. Okay. Actually, sir, last month, nag-meeting kami. Sabi ko dun sa staff ko, yung aming regular meeting, I will introduce something. Sabi ko, lalo na ngayong panahon ng pandemic, kailangan mag-focus tayo dun sa humanity, I believe. You should focus on humanity. So sabi ko, sa susunod na meeting, we will not only discuss about our organization, about the things we do, the things we have to be accomplished, but we will discuss a certain topic na it will guide or it will deepen our humanity, lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon. And I challenge them. Each of us will discuss a topic. Sabi ko sa kanila. I will start it. I will start it. And the next meeting, you will be the one, will be the one. Choose a topic that is close to your heart so that you can be very well deliver it. And we will learn from it. We will all learn from it. Yun, sir. Yung mga gano'n, pag pinagsama mo yung behavioral and functional, without you being aware and without you knowing it, tumataas yung level of competencies. Tandaan po natin yung behavioral and functional competencies should go together.
Ang ganda ng inyong technique, Ma'am Jing. Ang galing. Actually, the opportunity to be able to share some piece of your own knowledge to a group such as your team is already a good step. Kasi nagkakaroon sila ng chance na i-bosses o i-voice out yung kanilang mga bagay na close sa kanilang mga damdamin. No?
Yes, sir. Apo.
Ganda, ganda. Ma'am, yung next question natin, tignan natin. So, it looks like one of our audience wanted to know kung meron kayong provincial IT office. Kasi parang kayo na yata yung IT office ng Capitol eh.
Actually po, wala pa po talaga kaming provincial IT office, not even a section or a division for the IT. Talaga pong eCenter. At dahil nga sa paglipas ng panahon na nakikita yung mga ginagawa namin at accomplishments, it is evolving as an office. So nabanggit ko po kanina na doon sa proposal namin under the executive and legislative agenda, ito na yung pinopose namin to have an IT office. Kasi sir, ito nakwento ko na rin sa iyo sir at palagay ko ikikwento ko rin para maraming makaka-relate. Napapansin nyo ba ang eCenters? Parang nakikiamot lang, ganon. Ang center manager ay dinedesignate concurrent to their position. May kanya-kanya tayong position. Sige na nga, magkakaroon pala tayo ng eCenter. Sino kayo ang pwede dyan? Ilagay mo doon, siya ang ano. Kuha kayo ng staff doon, ilagay ninyo, ganon. Tapos, yung budget, alam mo, walang sariling budget. Diba? Ganyan tayo nagsimula. Diba? Pero, kung kami ay magiging opisina, napakaganda nito. Mas lalawak yung pwede naming gawin. Though we have our budget na we are thankful to our governor. Wala siyang tinanggihan na hiningi namin para sa center. Though minimal pa rin kasi there are other priorities. Yun so yun sir ang answer ko. Wala pa ho kaming provincial IT office. So there is no conflict.
That's good to know. Ma'am, meron ditong nagtatanong tungkol sa siguro itong magandang question, yung pang-apat. Sabi niya, new normal na kasi tayo ngayon, and gusto niya malaman anong advice ang pwede nating ibigay sa kanila as a center to initiate transformative ideas and intend to serve your current clients.
Yan sir, ganito. Ina-address namin yan. Yung mga scholars namin, one of the requirements, nakapasa na sila sir, admitted na sila sa scholars as scholar, pero kailangan mag-enroll sila sa Tech4ED. Yan yung isang requirement. Sinasabi namin sa kanila na ang Tech4ED is a tool for their education. So, ginagawa namin yung orientation, pinapakita namin yung mga segments ng ating Tech4ED platform. Ito, may mga e-books dito, ganito, ganyan. Kaya namin kayo pinag-enroll dito dahil, tool ninyo ito. Pero ngayon, niisip namin, paano na namin yun gagawin? So, eto na, may solusyon na kami dyan, sir, na gagawin. Kasi nga, online. So, we will ask for their Gmail account or kami ang mag-create ng kanilang Gmail account. This is the recommendation ng ating mga IT. We will create their own Gmail account at i-register namin sila doon sa Tech4ED. At yun, i-open na nila. Sila na yung mag-open online, sir. Ganon. So yun, sir, yung mga pwede nating gawin. Dahil nasa new normal tayo, walang physical or face-to-face contact. Tapos, eto sir, yung mga, last month lang, we were consulted by the PHRMO, yung aming human resource, kasi civil service month ngayon. So, paano tayo mag-celebrate? Ganito, ganyan. So, nag-suggest kami, sir, nung live streaming. Kaya kami, gano'n na rin yung mga plano namin sa activity natin na pwede hong mangyari. So, halimbawa, meron kaming activity sa scholar. So, kami, nasa isang area kami, especially yung team building, doon sa team building kasi may raffle. Hintayan ng aming mga scholars. So, ang plano namin, nasa isang area kami, nagla-live stream kami, mag-electronic raffle kami. They have to, kailangan ma-monitor namin sila na nag-check-in sila. Ayun, sir. At saka ito, advice ko rin, it is a must for us to buy or purchase the necessary applications like Zoom. Yun, sir, Google Meet, meron din yon, di ba? So, ito na, yung mga kailangan natin, ngayon, mga kailangan natin ito sa centers. So, kailangan na nating equip ang centers ng webcam, headset, the necessary apps because we will be going online. Yan. At yung center ho natin, tingnan din natin kung paano natin siya babaguhin para kahit papaano makapag-admit tayo ng client. Kasi kahit papaano, sir, may mga client kami dun sa e-gov services natin, yung sa 4NBI, PSA, meron, sir. Yun po.
Right. Ang ganda nung ganong initiatives po para talagang ma-initiate yung transformative ideas para sa clients ng center. I think we have time for one last question. Okay ka pa ba, ma'am?
Okay pa lang. Okay pa, sir.
Okay, let's get that additional question on screen. It says here, I'm not sure if community e-centers can be found in other parts of the country. Is it mandated by law or is it an initiative of LGU to have such? Briefly describe e-centers.
Okay. So, way back during the time of the defunct National Computer Center. Ayan. Alam ko po yan kasi during that time, dalaga pa ako noon, umattend ako ng seminar conducted by the National Computer Center. So, the National Computer Center started this program, the Community Electronic Centers. So, this is, of course, under government laws. No? Ngayon yung National Computer Center, eto na ngayon si DICT. Okay po. So, yan ay dumaan sa proseso. Bago nag-establish ang mga community electronic centers, there is a memorandum of agreement or undertaking between the LGU who will host the center and then the NCC or now the DICT. In this time of DICT, the necessary preparations is being done. So they will check the center, there are requirements, the size of the center, the equipments needed for the center, and then there should be an orientation for the knowledge worker. It is also one of the requirements is to conduct digital literacy training for a certain sector before the eCenter can be opened as Tech4ED Center. So, sir, this is under government operation, so this is mandated by law. So, ang nagiging initiative po ng LGU ay yung kani-kanila ng innovation na ginagawa doon sa kanya-kanyang center. Katulad namin, sir, self-sustaining center kami. Nung nag-start ang eCenter during the time of NCC, we were given computers. I think 4 or 5. After that, self-sustaining na kami, sir. Kaya last year, during the Bicol Regional Tech4ED Conference, we were recognized by the region as self-sustaining center. So yun, sir, yung initiative ng LGU, pumapasok na on how will you operate the center, how will you make it dynamic. So, briefly describe daw the eCenter. Yung sir, kasing E stands for electronic. So, we provide electronic services, digital services. Nag-start yan kasi sir, noon, exclusive pa ang internet connectivity. Way back during that time, iilan lang ang nakaka-connect sa internet. Yun lang may mga pribilehiyo. Pag pupunta ka sa mga internet cafe, mahal ang bayad. So, solusyon niya ng gobyerno na hindi pwedeng ang nakaka-connect lang dyan sa internet connectivity ay yung meron lang mga kakayanan. Kailangan maka-reach out sa merong mga walang kakayanan or the less deprived. So, that's why eCenters were born.
Well said. Very well said, ma'am. And mukhang na-summarize nyo yung history ng mga eCenters sa Pilipinas. Ang swerte natin, guys, at kasama natin si Ma'am Jing kasi nasaksihan ni Ma'am Jing kung paano nag-umpisa ang eCenters sa Philippines. Yes, eCenters are available or are present nationwide in every region and in every province. Ang goal nga ng DICT ay magkaroon ng center or Tech4ED Center not only in every municipality but also in every barangay. And I suppose a lot of knowledge workers just like Ma'am Jing is pushing to make that happen too. Uti-uti lang, hindi natin kaya itong biglain. Pero tulong-tulong lang tayo para magawa siya. There are other questions, Ma'am, but I think those can be answered by your previous discussions earlier during your presentation. And as well as yung question regarding papaano malaman yung level ng kanilang competency can be answered by the competency standard. And to all our viewers, you can find the competency standard from the link inside the description box below. So nandoon yung link, just access it and you can see the descriptions on the levels of competency. So you can gauge nasa na ba ang center nyo, anong level na ba. Alright, I think that's all the time that we have for the open forum. Thank you again once more, Ma'am Jing. We're very pleased to have you on this webinar 04. So I now turn over.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I hope we have imparted stories of hope and can inspire other eCenters and other participants. Thank you, and God bless us all. Stay safe, everyone.
Likewise, ma'am. So now I turn over to Angel, our host. Go ahead, Angel.
Thank you, Dr. Richard, and thank you, Ma'am Jean, for sharing to us your discussion today. We can read a lot of positive and wonderful feedback from our participants this morning. I love the line when you said you don't need superpowers to be a superhero. That means we can all, anybody can be a hero and do something for one another, especially now in time of pandemic. We really need modern day heroes. So before we end this webinar, I will be announcing the winners, the 10 winners for our raffle draw. So do you think it could be you? Yeah, express your excitement in the comment section. So please stay with us. Reminder to our winners, email us right away. When you see your name flashed, email us right away so you can claim your prizes. Okay, you need to email us before the webinar ends, or else your prize will get forfeited and it will be given away to a new set of winners next week. So to claim your prize, just send us an email at secretariat@philsecnet.org before the end of today's webinar, which is in a few moments from now. Email with the email subject raffle claim, your complete name and your network provider. So we now move on to the awarding of certificates to our speaker for this morning. Philippine Community eCenter Network Inc. Incorporated, 15th Knowledge Exchange Conference, eCenters in the Digital Philippines for the New Normal. Certificate of Appreciation is given to Ms. Jocelyn Grace A. Kalimlim in recognition of her participation as resource speaker in this webinar entitled Setting the eCenters as Tool for Development. Live streamed on September 10, 2020 via YouTube. Thank you, Mom and Mom Jocelyn, for sharing to us your insights this morning. Of course, we also want to express our appreciation to Dr. Richard Amansek as our moderator for today's webinar, also live streamed on YouTube today, September 10, 2020. Thank you, Dr. Richard. So now, we're going to announce our raffle draw winners. Are you ready? So make sure po that your email box is ready to let us know. All right, so our winners for today's raffle worth 300 pesos of load are J.R. Nibla, Editha Macawile, Juliet Hermine Nigildo, and Christine Conde. Congratulations po. Congratulations to our winners. So we'll give you some time to screenshot that. And please email us before the webinar ends so that your prize won't get forfeited. To claim your prize, again, send us an email at secretariat@philsecnet.org before the webinar ends. Okay, so if you're not the winner, please don't flood us with email, as we're also receiving claim emails from those who haven't won. So please email us only if your name has been flashed. All right, so remember to send using the same email address that you used during the registration period. So our raffle winners for the 500 worth of load are Mariam Alid, Joseph Subong, and Julius Vladimir Quindoza. Congratulations po. I think there's another slide. So we will be giving 10. Ayan. So also another set of winners for the 500 worth of load, Carla Jane, Anna Lou, and Mark Lloyd. So please be sure to email us at secretariat@philsecnet.org so that you will be able to claim your prize, or else we'll be giving that away to our new set of winners next week. So remember that you do not have to register to each and every session that we're doing every Thursday. You just have to register once, and that gives you a chance to access our entire conference or webinar series, and you will be having the chance to win in our raffle draw. And if you're a PhilSecNet member, you can once again win at our General Assembly. Okay. So please be sure to email us before the webinar ends, which we're going to end in a few moments. So if you're one of the winners, email us right now so that we can send you the details of the load cards. So congratulations to our winners for today, 10 of you. So we hope that all of you will be able to claim your prizes. So for our evaluation, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our webinar. And for our evaluation, by the way, don't forget to evaluate this webinar. It comes with a short quiz, so we can assess how much you've learned or from the webinar today. So you can find it in the description box below. And once you send your evaluation, you will be receiving your certificate from PhilSecNet. So there you have it. This concludes our 4th webinar for the KEC, or the Virtual Knowledge Exchange Conference, with the theme eCenters in the Digital Philippines for the New Normal. As we come to close today's activity, please watch the closing video for a few reminders, and we will see you again next Thursday. Once again, thank you for joining us, and goodbye for now. Have a blessed week.